So, ladies and gentlemen, Secretary of State, my name is Professor Richard Davis. I'm one of the Pro-Vice Chancellors at the University, and it's a pleasure to welcome you here to this absolutely wonderful Urban Sciences building, the USB. It's absolutely fantastic. So, as a university, we spend a lot of time worrying about the student experience, making sure students get a fantastic experience at Newcastle University and value for the money, the investment they've made in us. But today we're not here to talk about that. We're going to talk about another thing we take great pride in, and that's the way that we use our buildings and infrastructure as living experiments to understand urban development and to improve urban settings. So the US building cost £58 million, and it was part funded by HM Treasury, and it is an embodiment of our approach in using buildings and our infrastructure to understand how urban settings develop. And this entire site, the Newcastle Helix, is an embodiment of those sorts of ambitions. This building is the home to one of the best computing schools of computing in the world. And the links that they're developing through partnership in the Alan Turing Institute and other things are taking this school to even greater heights of achievement. So in this building, we've been to see some of these things. The MindSphere Lab is located here. The National Green Infrastructure Facility, which is in a collaboration with Northumbria Water, again showing how we're linking with business, is here. The National Centre for Energy Systems Integration, which is the UK's largest smart grid project investigating the challenges we have in powering the United Kingdom in a sustainable and affordable way. That's here also. And we're very proud of those things. And also, just outside this building, the National Innovation Centre for Data, which I know, Secretary of State, you've been involved in, which supports Britain's world-leading areas of research in artificial intelligence and was partly funded by the government and by our university. So this is an award-winning building and a feature of the Great Exhibition of the North. It's part of one of the innovation trails that have been devised and is one of the top architectural landmarks in the exhibition. And it's an absolute pleasure to hand over to you, Secretary of State, to formally open the building.
Well, Professor, thank you very much indeed, and it's a huge pleasure to be here in order to open this amazing building. Winston Churchill said that we define our buildings and then they define us. And you've clearly put a huge amount of thought into how to define and build this building so that it can define the experience of researching and learning here over the years ahead. So it's a huge pleasure to be here. I know of the reputation that goes around the world of Newcastle University, especially in the fields of data science, technology and computing. And it's a real pleasure to spend a bit of time with you today. And I'm incredibly proud of what you're doing over the road to the next step with the, which is the National Innovation Centre, both for ageing and for data. I also know that there are things that still need to be completed with this building. For instance, we need to make sure that Google Maps works and that it is truly put on the map. And I'm now feeling very nervous because in my 8 years in public life, I have pulled many strings to open buildings, but I've never hit a space bar to do a virtual opening. And all I can tell you if this goes wrong is that when Bill Gates came to give a presentation to all of the MPs in Parliament, his PowerPoint froze. And so it can't be worse than that. But we're going to officially and formally open this Urban Sciences building by pressing the space bar so that for many years ahead it can be a centre of great learning and a source of great pride for the university and for the city of Newcastle.
That's it. You pressed it twice.
There we go. school way.